get the names right. So Agla. I'm very, very excited to have you on the stage today. Really the idea of this talk is to peek behind the curtains. What is the story? How do startups grow to scale-ups to become investors? And what are the risks, challenges, perhaps some advantages that you have in the sector when you compete with other traditional investors? So your title is Head of Corporate Development, which sounds quite corporate. But please sort of share a little bit what does that entail and what is your daily job?
So good to be you. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Agla. Yeah, I work in Tesonet. I actually started my career in economic policy. After that, I spent less than a year in European Parliament working for Montanas Guaga, who was an entrepreneur at that time, elected as a member of European Parliament. I spent less than a year then, and he told me to come back to Lithuania and start working for his business. So I didn't have a direct, connection, my education versus what I did. But he was my first teacher, and I worked in his gambling company, taking care of development. And the title, when came then, it wasn't a very specific thing, I should do there, but I was just taking care of everything. And at the side, I was also taking responsibility for his direct investments as angel investor. So I spent 3 years working there. Then I went for 2 years out of work. I gave birth to 2 kids. And then in 2020, I started my work at Tesonet. And I had the same title, actually, the same I did working at the other company for Antanas. So I really started at Nord Security on a finance team. At that time, our team were responsible for, making the organization ready for the first fundraise, because the company was bootstrapped for 10 years, growing rapidly in terms of people as well as revenue. So nobody actually had time to look at the organization itself. So our team was, just preparing the package. And maybe because of my history with Antanas, Thomas and Imanta started sending me forwarding emails and pitches that they would receive. First asking what I think, then asking to meet the founders, and finally just structuring the deals. And yes, since 2021, I'm running the corporate development at Tesonet.
So do you still get pitches from startups that want Tesonet to invest?
Yeah, we do receive a lot of startup pitches. But we don't do so many investments. So it's just like maybe 2 a year as average.
Okay, so take us through the journey. Was there some sort of a strategy set out on the outset when you started to invest in companies? Was it sort of, because now you have 30 plus projects that you've invested, and some of them clearly are passion projects, others are more strategic. So was there a strategy on the outset, and has it evolved as time went by?
So the first external investments were done in 2017. It was done without the team being in place. All 3 startups actually failed, the ones that were did then. So in 2021, when the team actually started, gathering around with investments, we decided, that now what's the biggest power we have in this house? And till today, we still think that the biggest power we have at Tesonet is the founder's mindset and the talent that we have. In the group, we have around 3,000 people working. So we really believe we have the best specialists in every field. So we decided at that time that let's increase the minimum ticket. Let's get a bit, higher skin in the game. And let's start spending some time with the startups that we invest. What we faced, the challenge then, was that there was the gap between our in-house team and the founders, the startups, the founders and their team. The gap was just too wide. Nordsec's marketing team would already invest like hundreds of millions into marketing, rather than the pre-seed or seed startups wouldn't have such budgets. So we saw that the motivation for the in-house team to start helping, and spending time with the startup founders was just fading away. So we had to change the strategy then. We went and we looked for the venture capital funds. We became LPs there, so we're pretty set in that kind of field, seed and Series A. So we decided we're going to now invest in the growth stage, where we see, again, we're capable of just coming, spending an hour, sharing our experience, our mistakes, and we can see the significant kind of change. so that was maybe the first kind of lessons. The second one was we really set the boundaries, because we thought that's what we have to do, because other kind of investors do. After like long discussions, we decided we're going to be investing into meaningful tech, but then we made investments into Žalgiris and Šiaulių Bankas at the same year. So we decided, okay, let's not give the boundaries to ourselves. Let's just go and do investments in any kind of fields. Let's just pick the best players in the field. So that was the second part. And I think the latest one that we just decided recently, we don't have to be an active investor, actually. It's okay if we don't do an investment in a year. As you mentioned, we have 30 plus products in the portfolio. So let's be now a bit more active, but not in terms telling, what your product should look like, rather than let's think, a bit more ambitious. You can be a bit more ambitious and aggressive. So this year, that's how, London Lions came for Žalgiris, or yesterday's news, Martinas, the co-founder of Trafi, joining one of our portfolio companies, Flanco. So I think the strategy did adjust during the period, but it didn't change the whole idea, and the core ideas is there.
I feel that, from what you described, that in the investment journey, you were also sort of, acting a little bit startup-y. So, trying things and seeing what works, what doesn't work for you as an investor, as a group that invests in other brands. And I think it's interesting that you picked up the need to balance the resources that Tesonet employees can actually, the time that they can spend adjusting, helping, mentoring companies that you invest in, with other responsibilities that you have in the group, and how that sort of really pushed your thinking towards later stage, growth stage companies. So you touched a little bit on that sharing of the experiences, and maybe we could expand a little bit more in terms of how you think, let's say, Tesonet Group as an investor gives an edge to a company compared to a traditional, let's say, VC.
First, I think it's time. So what really differs us as an investor is that, the venture capital funds or PE funds or whatever, they're really constrained in manner of time. We don't. I mean, we have like founded companies in our portfolio as well. None of them have exited. In terms of our investments, we recently, last year, had the first exit as well. So we can really stay there, and this is a bit of our mindset as well, So we're staying there, we can stay there forever, and we don't have any kind of rush in that way. The second thing that differs us, I would say, the hands-free approach, right? So we've really been through the journey, we've been through all the lessons, so we can be there for you if you need us. If you don't, I mean, we have plenty of things to do of our own, right? So we're not kind of bragging, and asking things. Sometimes we're fine with just an annual report sent to us. So yeah, I think that's the biggest two differences that separates us.
So, so just to expand a little bit on that, do you sort of set? You mentioned that you can be there forever, but do you still set certain objectives for your investments, or certain timelines, or certain, I don't know, how many X the value has to grow before you decide to exit, or?
Yeah, I shouldn't be saying that, but no, we don't. We're really flexible on structure. I think there's two investments that we would do in the same way. We do it every time really differently. And like a few days ago, we had a meeting with one of our portfolio founders, and we told them, I mean, we're fine with, just paying dividends every year till, whatever. We're fine with an IPO or the strategic exit, but you have to look at your cap table. And in that particular case, it was, venture capital funds in there. So we were saying, like, you have to figure out and balance the things. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess much more flexibility, a bit less pressure than in traditional VC type of investment, and mentorship by the people who have been through the journey. And
but not only founders, because everyone thinks that the founders are the core thing. Of course they are, but what I really try to say is we have the best specialists in every field. So our meetings with our portfolio companies, sometimes they go really, really deep. And okay, sometimes they meet the founders for a more ambitious thing, but they also meet for pricing, for, I don't know, sales, for payments. We do so many different things. So sometimes it gets really operational, but again, just where they ask and where we can help.
So can you share some of the fails, some things that didn't work in this journey?
Fails. We have one failed investment, but that was the lesson, I would say, not a failure. I don't know. I don't think we have any yet. I mean, all of our companies are growing really nicely. It's different kind of pace. But yeah, it's going good.
That's very positive answer. So we have some startups in the audience, and having heard your story, are there any specific tips or suggestions that you could recommend to the startups, which may be in the earlier stage still, perhaps not in the growth stage where you're looking to invest, but how, from your experience, how can they get to that sort of being considered investable by your group?
You mean the startups, for us to invest into the startups, or for startups start doing
No, for startups in the earlier stage, like what do they have to achieve to be considered investable?
I mean, again, we're looking at all kinds of fields. We're looking for the best in the fields. What we really look at when we decide on investment is the product, again, because I think we have a pretty strong know-how on that. So you really have to have a good product. You definitely have to have some revenue because, again, we stopped investing into the seed and pre-seed stages. So we really like to see us coming into the cap table and then boosting it pretty quickly.
What about the founders team?
Oh, the founders team. I think in Lithuania we actually know everyone. So I think we're in a good position in that sense. And it was some time when we were considering, just expanding our investments into other markets. We did a few of them. And then this year we decided, I mean, this is not interesting. We really like to be with the community here, really want to, to meet people. And we're spending a lot of time with the founders in our portfolio companies. We organize events, we do meetings, we travel together to conferences. So we really spend time. And it's really much fun because, Tesla basically today it's 4 different buckets. It's founded companies, strategic direct investments, in minority VC investments, and then venture capital funds. So 90% of our money and resources is still in the founded companies bucket, right? So we really kind of don't want to make it big, but just spend time and be cozy with everyone. So from what you said, your focus will continue to be on Lithuanian startups or startups that operate in Lithuania as a primary sort of location for their operations, yes? Yes, that's true. But again, we said it's fine if we're not doing an investment a year. So we're really not going to go and look actively, but we're meeting everyone. We know everyone. So we'll see how it goes.
And so for the network effect, sort of thinking that, you already say that, we sort of know everyone. How do you think we as an ecosystem can grow the number of startups and encourage more people to become founders in Lithuania?
I think that's going to happen quite, naturally. I think we're going to see the first really big batch after the Vinta's great success and their secondary kind of play. I also think that we're quite young, we have a quite young industry here in Lithuania. We can see Estonia as an example, and I think we're just really not there yet, but it's coming up. I think we're also doing a good job with the schools. Even, after Palanga's summit, we all committed to have some spend time with the school. So I think we're going a good path, and we're still a very limited country, right? We only have like 3 million people working here, so living here.
Yeah, so I think also my observation of this community is just how collaborative and focused on giving back it is. What do you think are additional ways for startups to share their experiences, whether through a network of that, let's say, created by Tesla Group as part of something that joins them, or maybe some other ways that would benefit founders and employees in the startups to better sort of learn from each other?
I think, again, we're pretty good at this. What I would really suggest, for the startup founders, probably just before going fundraise, I think that now I see this kind of play, where everyone thinks that if we go and talk to the best funds, foreign funds, that's the best move. But I would say, like, for certain stages, and that would be probably till growth stage, we have so many talent and such, again, experience and everything here in Lithuania, and you don't need to go and look, for foreign funds and whatever. Just go and use and talk, and we have so many good communication, channels open for everyone. So yeah, just be here. Everything's happening here. Don't think that the grass is greener somewhere.
Excellent. Maybe it's a good time to also to mention that Tesonet Hackathon is happening this weekend. Is that the first one, not the last one? Can you tell a little bit about this initiative?
Yeah, that's the first hackathon, and the team is really excited and scared because this is the first time. It all started really funny. We had this kind of strategy meeting, and we said, I think it was Eimantas who said, oh, the AI is such a boom, we have to do something with it, and we had so many different ideas, and then again, we came to the conclusion that maybe we should be the first ones, to gather everyone and just to make ourselves out there saying, like, we care about it and we want to invest in AI startups. And then the team started doing that for the very first time. So we're going to see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to go well because whatever our teams do, it's always a great success. So I invite everyone to come. It's an open event. It's happening Friday to Sunday. Sunday's going to be pitches. We're going to, give some money to the winners. So come.
Excellent. Do you plan to make more of those type of initiatives, hackathons, or you'll see how this one goes and maybe pick some themes for the future ones?
I don't think we're going to become a hackathon organizer. I think we're pretty flexible on doing many different things, and what really fascinates me about working in the team is that whatever crazy idea the founders have, we always just jump in and we do. So I don't think there's going to be another hackathon soon, but who knows? We'll see.
But it seems that, you haven't become a corporate yet. That's good news. The startup mindset with, ideas and the team jumping behind them and just doing and trying and seeing what works and what creates value. So huge congratulations on that. I think it's very inspiring example and story to watch unfold into even more success. Thank you to you. Thanks to amazing team. And we'll look forward to hearing what you're up to in the future.
Thank you.